My name is Lee, and I want to tell you a story that still breaks my heart. Imagine spending your whole life sacrificing everything for your child, only to be told one day, "Dad, you're not allowed to see your own grandchild." That's exactly what happened to me. I never imagined my daughter would betray me in this way. But when she did, I made a choice that shocked everyone. I changed my will. Before I begin, let me ask you this. If your child banned you from meeting your grandchild, would you forgive them, or would you make them face the consequences? Think about it, because my answer may surprise you. For years, I dreamed of being a grandfather. I wanted to take my grandchild fishing, teach them how to ride a bike, and tell them bedtime stories the way I once told my daughter. My daughter Emily was the center of my world after my wife passed away. I worked 45 years as an engineer to give her everything: college tuition, her first car, even a down payment on her house. When Emily told me she was expecting her first child, I was overjoyed. I promised her that this child would have more love than they could ever imagine. When little Noah was born, I felt that joy multiply. Holding him for the first time, feeling his tiny fingers grip mine, I silently swore that I'd always be there for him. But I didn't know then that Noah would become the very reason Emily turned her back on me. Emily's husband, Mark, never liked me. He always thought I was interfering because I gave them advice about money. I wasn't trying to control them, I just wanted to help. But one afternoon, everything changed. Emily called me with a coldness I'd never heard in her voice. She said, "Dad, Mark and I talked. We think it's best if you don't come around Noah anymore." At first, I thought I'd misheard. I asked her, "What? Emily? He's my grandson." But she just repeated, "It's final, Dad. Please respect our decision." And then she hung up. I stood in my empty house staring at the family photos on my wall, my heart sinking. My grandson was out there, growing up, learning, laughing, and I was banned from being part of his life. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Birthdays passed without invitations. I saw photos online of Noah's first steps, his first birthday, cake, his little smile, but never in person. Do you know what it feels like to be erased from your own family's story? It's worse than loneliness. It's betrayal. I tried to reason with Emily. I called. I wrote letters. She blocked me. I left gifts at her doorstep, but they were returned. Eventually, I stopped trying. But then, something happened that revealed the truth. At the grocery store one evening, I bumped into one of Emily's old friends. She hesitated, then quietly said, "Lee, I don't know if I should tell you this, but Emily and Mark have been bragging. They say you'll still pay for everything. Their mortgage, their bills, even though they banned you from seeing Noah." That felt like a knife to my chest. They hadn't cut me off because they thought I was toxic. They'd cut me off because they thought I was a wallet with no boundaries. I went home and pulled out years of financial records. Page after page told the story of how much I had given. $20,000 for Emily's college, $12,000 for her wedding, $35,000 for her house loan that was never repaid, and thousands more for vacations, medical bills, and emergencies. And now, the thanks I got was being told I'd never see my grandson again. That night, I made a decision. If they wanted to treat me like I didn't exist, then fine. But they would soon understand what that really meant. The next morning, I called Bruce, my lawyer and longtime friend. I told him I needed to change my will. We met at his office, a tall building overlooking the bay. I spread out every receipt, every bank statement, across his desk like evidence in a trial. My daughter thinks she can ban me from my grandson's life while still expecting my money, I told him. That ends today. Bruce nodded. "Lee, I've seen this before. We can make sure your legacy goes where it's truly valued." For the next 2 hours, we rewrote everything. My savings, Investments, retirement funds, even my house. Every cent was redirected. Instead of Emily inheriting a fortune, charities, scholarships, and community programs would benefit. Emily's name was erased from my will. 3 weeks later, Emily and Mark showed up at my house, furious. Emily shouted, "Dad, why did you cancel the transfers for our mortgage? The bank called us." I stayed calm. "Because you made it clear I wasn't family anymore." Mark sneered, "You're being dramatic. You'll come crawling back. You need us more than we need you." That's when I slid the envelope across the table, a copy of my revised will. Emily opened it with trembling hands and read the words. Aloud, "Being of sound mind, I hereby exclude my daughter Emily from all inheritance due to her rejection and exclusion of family ties." Her face drained of color. "Dad, you can't do this. I'm your daughter." I looked her in the eye and said, "Yes, but you chose to be a stranger." They threatened lawsuits. They yelled. They begged. They cried. But Bruce had prepared everything to be legally ironclad. And in that moment, I realized something. This wasn't about revenge. It was about justice. The money I worked for my entire life would now go toward helping children get scholarships, seniors who had no one, and families who understood gratitude. Not to people who treated love like a transaction. Months later, I received a letter from one of the charities I had included in my will. It said, "Thank you, Lee, for ensuring that future generations will benefit from your generosity." For the first time in years, I felt peace. I may never see Noah grow up. That's the price of Emily's choices. But I know this. My legacy won't be wasted. It will change lives long after I'm gone. And one day, maybe Noah will learn the truth, that his grandfather loved him deeply and fought to leave behind something meaningful. So, tell me, what would you have done in my place? Would you forgive your child for banning you from your grandchild's life? Or would you protect your legacy the way I did? Leave your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this story powerful, hit the like button, subscribe for more real stories, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Sometimes, the most painful betrayals lead us to the strongest decisions, and sometimes, justice is the best form of love.